a lot of stocks don't follow the constant dividend model. They tend to have some swings up and down. Apple is a good example. It's a company that experiences good growth but also has some real spurts. Think back when the iPod became popular, and then the iPad, the iMac. Each time there would be tremendous growth followed by more of a steady growth. So a lot of companies are like that. They might have a big burst. Apple's more cyclical than most, so most companies might just have a period when they grew a lot for a while and then kind of settled down. And so this is a non-constant growth model. So what we have to do is we have to take the dividends that are occurring when the non-constant fast growth is going, find a present value for those, and then go into the constant model and then discount all of that back. This is called finding a terminal value. And then finally we add those all together. So here we have a problem. We are expecting 3 years of 20% growth on a stock which recently paid a dividend of $1. After 3 years, the dividend is going to grow constantly at a rate of 5%, and the required return is 15%, so this becomes our discount. So the first thing we do is, however long the expected super growth is going on, we number. So 1, 2, 3, and then we repeat the 3 again, because that's what we'll use to find our constant growth. So if it was going to have 2 years of super growth, we'd have 1, 2, 2. 4 years, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So what we do is we start off with our initial cash flow, and it says it's paid $1. And then we are going to add 1 plus the growth, so it's growing at 20%, so 1.2. And this is going to give us our ending cash flow. We multiply those two numbers together, equals $1 times the $1.20. So we expect at the end that we'll get a dividend of $1.20. But again, we're waiting a year, so we have to do the discounting. So we got to make that $1.20 come back to a present value. So our formula, if you recall, for discounting is 1 divided by 1 plus the required return. So 1.15, 1 plus 15%. And then we raise it to the power with the shift 6, the caret. And then that's why I've numbered it, is because then I can come back over here and I can say it raised it to the power of whatever year that is. And I can hit enter, and so the first one will be discounted by about 87%. And then I can pull down, and these are going to be the discount factors for each year. And then from this we're going to get our discounted cash flow, which is what the money is worth to us today. So we're getting it back. This is what the present value is. So we're finding the present value, and then we're going to add them all together. So the $1.20 is actually worth $1.20 times the 0.86957. It's actually worth $1.04. And then year 2 comes along, and you start with the $1.20 again, growing at 1.2 or 1 plus 20%, and it's worth $1.44. And then we can repeat that for the 3rd year. And we're also going to do the math here too. Let's get rid of this. Alright, so here's 3 years. $1 becomes $1.20, $1.20 becomes $1.44, $1.44 becomes $1.73. So it's growing rapidly, but it's also getting discounted. So the actual value of those cash flows are right here. And now I'm ready to go into the terminal value. So I use the Gordon growth. So it is, the formula is going to be, and I'll just type it over here on the top, the most recent dividend times 1 plus the growth rate. And then we put that on top of the required return minus the growth rate. So this is the bottom of our formula. So my most recent dividends found right here, the $1.73. So it equals $1.73 multiplied times 1 1 plus our growth rate now, and now it's going to fall down to 5%. So multiply times 1.05, and then divide that by the required return, which is again 15%, so 0.15, minus that growth rate of 0.05. And so our terminal value on that stock is 1817. So if I were going to purchase or sell this stock in 3 years, I would expect to get a price of 1817. But again, because of the discounting, it's not worth 1817, it's only worth 1194. So now I can add those numbers up, these cash flows, and that will give me the value of the stock. So the value of that stock is actually 1521. So that's how we do stocks with non-constant growth.